guys, welcome to the Homestead. So, you may or may not know, haven't told anybody really, at least not on camera. I have my oldest son. He is now learning how to drive, and we went out today and was driving around and giving him some practice. And I've been telling him for the last couple of years, I said, we've been saving his money. He's been selling sheep. The sheep herd really on the homestead is kind of his job. And so, he feeds the sheep, he waters the sheep, he goes out there every day to make sure they're doing okay. If there's anything I can do, I go out there and help him too, but his little brother helps him. So he sells the sheep. For the most part, he gets the money. Got to pay the tax man, don't forget the tax man. So anyway, he's been saving his money for the last couple of years selling sheep. And he's got, a few $1,000s saved up over the last couple of years. And so, I'm telling him he's about ready to buy a truck. He's going to be getting his license soon. And so he wants a pickup truck. And I've been telling him for the last, 6 months. I said, hold on. We're not going to look at anything yet, because he's been looking at, what about this? What about that? I'm like, hold on. Let's just wait, because I think the prices are going to come way down. And if you've been paying attention to the car market, the prices have been astronomical. Well, about 3 months ago, I saw a video from this financial advisor. She's online. Her name is Daniel D. Martina Booth, I think. And then there's a guy on there. His name is, they call him Lucky Lopez. He's from Las Vegas, because if you're in Las Vegas, you got to be called Lucky. And so Lucky Lopez, she was interviewing him on her channel, and he was talking about this basically vehicle apocalypse that's going to happen. And he was talking about all of these stimulus checks that people were getting. They were going in to the dealerships with their stimmies and, the free money they got from the government. And the dealerships were just basically giving cars out to anyone. If you had the money in hand, those stimmy checks they gave, didn't matter if you qualified or not. Qualifications, out the window. Who cares? You want a car? We'll give you a car. And most of these people were buying used cars. Not even new, because the dealers, because of the pandemic, couldn't even get new cars in. So a lot of these people were buying, newer used cars. And those, if you remember looking at used cars just not that long ago, the prices for used cars were sometimes more expensive than the new cars. So I have a 2014 4Runner. And a 2014 4Runner, I saw it online going for more than a brand new 4Runner. It was insane. Well, the prices are coming back down to earth, and they're talking about all of this lending that is going to cause an apocalypse in the used car market. This Lucky Lopez that she was interviewing on her channel was telling the audience that repo companies were buying lots of trucks, and they were buying hundreds of acres of land. Why? To put all the repos that they know are coming, because no one's paying their bills. If you got a stimmy check and you went in and you weren't qualified, they gave you a car and you paid maybe a month or two on the car, and then you just stopped paying on it. And the banks, instead of repoing the car, they let you go. 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 6 months. And these people have not paid any bills. These people are way beyond a year, and they're starting to finally go out and repo these vehicles. And these repo companies are just like in a heyday. When the sun's shining, you make hay, right? So that's what they're doing. Well, then that's why I was telling my son, I said, hold on to your money. The prices are going to come down. This market's about to be flooded. I saw that video with Daniel D. Martina Booth and Lucky Lopez about 3-4 months ago on her channel. And I'm like, now, then will be the time. In about 10 months, he said about 10 months, and we're getting close. We got about 5 more months to go, mid to early 2023. So today on Twitter, I saw this. Let's read through it. It's from a car dealer. So this is from the car dealership guy on Twitter, and it says, this morning I discovered something extremely alarming happening in the car market, specifically in the auto lending. I'm now convinced that there's a massive wave of car repossessions coming in 2023. Here's what I discovered and what no one knows. If you read on down, it goes through. It says, over the past 2 years, many people took out exorbitant loans on cars. Car values were inflated and frankly still are to some extent, but many people simply had no choice and bought an overpriced car. Well, car valuations are now plummeting. Some cars have declined in value as much as 30% year over year, and these same people that took out these big loans are now underwater. Basically, they owe banks more on these cars than what the cars are worth, and the banks are well aware of this. But there is no easy solution. You just can't put the genie back in the bottle, which brings me to what is happening this morning. Every Friday, I conduct a team meeting to recap our week. This morning, one of our general managers opened up DealerTrack, a portal that dealers use to communicate with auto lenders, and highlighted something very concerning. 9 of our lending partners have started waiving open auto stipulations for consumers. Wait, WTF does that even mean? Let me explain using a simple hypothetical scenario. Number 1, consumer takes out an auto loan in 2020, 2021 on an overvalued car. 2, 2022 comes around and that overvalued car is now rapidly declining in value. With the car declining in value, consumer now owes more on the car than it's worth. Consumer no longer wants the car, maybe they outgrew it, or maybe it keeps breaking, so consumer wants to trade it in. But dealer can't trade the car in because the consumer owes way too much on it. So dealer asks consumer for lots of money down to cover the difference. But of course, the consumer doesn't have thousands to cover the difference between what they owe on the car and what it's worth. And here comes the perfect storm. Dealer can't sell consumer a car. Consumer can't buy a car. And you guessed it, lender can't finance a car. Everybody loses. Oh no. So what happens next? Lender knows that most consumers are stuck in this situation and does the following. Waives the open auto stipulation, meaning the lender lets the consumer buy the car knowing that they already have an open auto loan with another bank. Why the F would they do this? Surely the lender knows that consumers that take out a second auto loan are much riskier and have much higher risk of default, right? Right? Yes, but the lender does it because they know that the consumer will default on the other car. Dog eat dog style. Let me be clear. This is not normal, but it's the only way lenders can finance cars and dealers can put cars on the road. And the implications of this will be tons of repossessions. I've been a doubter, but after what I saw this morning, I'm now fully convinced that a wave of car repossessions will hit early to mid 2023. If lenders are willing to backstab each other, this is the key right here. If lenders are willing to backstab each other in order to put more loans on the road, we're in trouble. This will not end pretty. That's all for now. Okay, so that was posted by a car dealership on Twitter. And yeah, this is coming. Repossessions are coming. People with these stimulus checks that went out and bought cars they shouldn't have even bought, cars that they would not normally be qualified to buy, didn't make any payments on them, and now they're being repoed. And lots of people who were making payments on them and just want a different car realize that they're underwater with the current car they just bought not that long ago, maybe a year ago. And they're like, I want a different car. I'm underwater with this one. And the dealers are willing to give them another car knowing that they'll default on the one they already have. Do you see the insanity? I told my son, I said, you wait. And people doubted me. They were like, "Oh, Zach," I've told people like, "Oh, don't worry about it. It's the cars. There's nothing really happening here." No. It's like this is gonna be worse than the 2008 subprime thing. Have you guys seen that movie, The Big Short? The true story of how the 2008 subprime crisis happened. This is gonna make that look just as bad, or maybe even worse. I don't know yet. Well, it remains to be seen if it's worse or not. But if you have cash on the side, if you have some liquidity, you can go out and get probably a pretty nice car for a lot cheaper than you would normally be able to buy it, because when this apocalypse happens, it's going to drive the prices down for everything, and you can pick up some stuff, just like people picked up homes back in the 2008 crisis. You can do that. It's an option, I'm thinking, I might upgrade my car. Joshua's got some savings. He's probably going to get a good size, nice truck. But see that there's a bigger implication to all this. Remember the whole Great Reset? You'll own nothing and be happy. This plays right into that. If you have this giant collapse in the car market, everything has been going over the last few years, if you haven't noticed, into a subscription model. Everything I used to buy, all the software that I used to buy for Adobe and all this stuff like that, it's all gone to subscription-based. Microsoft has all gone to Word. Everything is subscription-based. You got to pay a monthly fee, and they want that for everything. I don't own Photoshop anymore. Well, actually, I do, because I am one of the last holdouts. I am not paying a subscription for Photoshop. I still have the Adobe Creative Suite 5.5 because I'm not paying a subscription for Photoshop. I use Photoshop, After Effects, Adobe Premiere. I use the whole suite. I have the whole Creative Suite. I'm not paying the subscription. I refuse to do it. It still works. I'm not paying it. One day I'll probably have to. I have done a few After Effects projects where I've had to go ahead and get the After Effects monthly pay by month thing. Oh, and that was another thing. Like, I keep forgetting. Tim keeps coming over and reminding me I'm paying Adobe for some of their subscription stuff. I go into Adobe to try to cancel my subscription, and they won't let me because Adobe's in big trouble. If you haven't watched some of the headlines for Adobe, they're in big trouble. I can't cancel my subscription with Adobe. Everything's going subscription based. They want cars also to be subscription based. That car in your driveway, you won't own it, and you'll be happy because it's a subscription. You're going to pay a monthly subscription for that car or a yearly subscription for that car, but you don't own it. It's probably going to be monthly. It could be weekly, whatever. But they want everything to be subscription based. We've been talking about I have a 1982 Toyota. It's basically a Hilux before the Hilux was discontinued in America, but it's basically a Hilux. I'm never getting rid of that truck. It's like every time I've driven it to town, and I don't drive it very much anymore. It's kind of just sitting over there. But someone offers me money for it. No, not ever. Not now, not ever. But they want everything to be subscription. This whole thing that's coming with the repos and if there's a car collapse, this is playing right into the Great Reset's plan of you'll own nothing and be happy. See, you don't want to own a car. Look at all this nonsense. Look at all this collapsing. Look at all the damage it's done, ownership and all this capitalism stuff. No. We'll put everything in subscription. You'll own nothing and be happy. You watch. That's what they're going to use this for. Crazy times ahead. It's crazy enough. I have, a young driver now in the house. I have to, but now there's a car collapse coming. Anyway, leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. Do you think this is going to be anything serious? Have you seen? Do you work at a dealership? Are you seeing any of this stuff? Are you working in the car market? Leave a comment below. Let me know what you see, and I'll heart your comment if it's appropriate, and so others can see it as well. And are you positioning yourself to take advantage of what's coming? Leave a comment below. I want to hear about it. All right, guys. See you next time at the Homestead. Oh, stupid shit hurt. The reason we have all this stupid around the world today is because we have no hurt. Links for the shirts, teespring.com, in the description below. Get one while you still can. See you next time at the Homestead. Bye! This is Grandma. Grandma survived the Great Depression. She survived the Great Depression because her supply chain was local and she knew how to do stuff. Grandma was smart. Grandma told us to make do with what you got. She also said, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Homesteading is all about self-reliance and declaring ourselves to be independent from the system. We grow our own food, we raise our own animals, and doing these things helps safeguard our families from the unpredictable world that surrounds us. But what about banking? I love being my own power company, but what about being my own bank? Right now, our country is over $30 trillion in debt and rising. The Fed keeps printing money, and the Congress won't stop spending money. Staying attached to the modern banking system and their investment vehicles is like putting all of your eggs in one very, very fragile basket. On one side, you have the threat of inflation and your savings value floating away. And the other side is a possible deflationary stock market collapse, just like what happened in the 1930s. Genesis Gold Group is like a basket holding eggs, and these eggs are impossible to break. History shows us that all paper investments have and will return to their intrinsic value eventually. Zero. But gold, silver, and other precious metals have never, ever been worthless. In every collapse throughout history, people have turned back to precious metals to find monetary value. If you have a 401k, an IRA, or a savings account where you're literally watching the purchasing power inflate away, give Genesis Gold Group a call right now. Today. This instant. They can develop a strategy for you in the days ahead. I can tell you how I raise sheep, I can tell you how I raise chickens, or the best way to grow tomatoes, or how to hook up a solar panel. But Genesis Gold Group is your best shot at safeguarding your hard-earned savings and investments during this increasingly turbulent time in history. The link and phone number is in the description below, or visit their website at genesisgoldgroup.com.
Hey guys, did you know you can become a patron of an American Homestead? They get access to private videos, and we send them gifts from the Homestead that we make here on the Homestead. And we also enter our patrons into special giveaways that are only available to them. And before you go, please check out these other great videos. Go ahead, click. Oh wait.